Okay, it's 9 o'clock. I think everyone is here. Let's stand and begin with a prayer, a pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, we thank you for a chilly winter day. We thank you for a great, nice 4-day weekend that we could celebrate Thanksgiving with our families. Lord, we pray for Commissioner Riddle while he's still away and under the weather, and we just pray, Father, for the surgery that apparently he's undergoing today, that all would go well and you would get him back on his feet and back able to work quickly as possible. Thanks for the traveling safety that you gave those of us that were traveling over the weekend. We now turn our attention to the agenda today, and we just place this in your hands. Ask that you would grant us the wisdom that we need to make decisions in the days ahead. Thank you for this coming holiday season, and we give you the praise, for we know we celebrate your birthday at this time of the year. For it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, again, I don't have any details really on Commissioner Riddle. I know that he was in the hospital over the weekend, and I believe he was in the Hurst, Euless, Bedford area. That's where he texted me that he was. He said he would be having surgery this morning. I don't know any details on the nature of that surgery, and I have not talked to him other than getting that brief bit of information. David Holmes had visited him while he was in the hospital here last week, but I don't know how long he was here. So I will keep you posted as I know more. All right, today we have our last meeting of the month of November 2018. Today's the 26th, just after 9 a.m. We begin with our item number 1, which is our time for public comments and or requests for information on non-agenda items. Anyone like to address the court on a non-agenda item at this time? If not, I'll move on to the approval of our minutes from our Friday, November 9th meeting, first meeting of the month. Time to consider and possibly approve that set of minutes.
Make the motion.
Motion is made by Commissioner Applewhite to approve.
Second.
And second by Commissioner Parker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 3, report from our road engineer, Mr. Ledbetter. Welcome, Roger. And Philip.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning. We're still mowing. We should finish mowing precinct 2 and 3 probably around the middle of this week. Then we'll concentrate on precinct 1 the remainder of the week, see if we can get most of it knocked out. We're picking up a tree on County Road 4670 this morning. I think we were pretty lucky the wind didn't blow many more of them down. I really thought we'd be out all weekend, or at least yesterday. But I think we come out of that pretty good. The shop has started working on the precinct 1 haul truck. I know Al was concerned about that. We're patching potholes throughout the county. And right now we're trying to work out an agreement with Luminate. We talked to them this morning, or the contractor they hired to fix those potholes out there on 2500, and I think we've reached an agreement where they will pay for $25,000 worth of material, and we will do the work. I think that's the best I think we're going to get out of it. Now, we hadn't got anything in writing or anything, so we still probably need some sort of formal agreement or something with them.
Do you know what they're going to do to it?
Well, that'd be up to y'all. But basically they've agreed to pay for $25,000 worth of coal mix.
Okay.
Is that fair?
I'll get with them.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's all we're going to get out of them. If they did $25,000 worth of labor and materials, we couldn't get near as much done. So I think if we do it ourselves, I think we can do it just as good as they can, and I think we can get more done by them just purchasing the materials for us.
Well, they going to write us a check, deliver us the material, tell us to pick up the material? How will it work?
Well, that's what we've got to get exactly worked out. They've agreed to pay for the materials, so I'm thinking they're going to pay for the coal mix directly. $25,000 worth, we'll probably end up getting it from Drake.
Should we ask Drake to send them an invoice? In other words, what's the next step to get this going? Stuff like this can drag on.
Remember, we discussed that we was just going to get it set up with them to just bill them directly, and all we have to do is just get them this and haul it to us.
Well, it'd be good if Drake would maybe let us know when they actually make contact with them, rather than this just...
We're just going to have to set it up, because I was going to set it up with we could work on it, actually.
Okay.
So hopefully I'll get it done by this next
Okay.
month.
All right.
I think I can get it done this next month.
When are they gonna try to do it? When are they gonna try to do it?
When will they try to do this?
Well, it'll be us doing it, when are we gonna try to do it?
I'm going to try to get it done next month, within the next couple of weeks, because that road's pretty bad. I've got to get something moving on it pretty fast. And what it was is the contractor said that they didn't do all the damage on it, so instead of haggling over, say, this base failure come up because of y'all, and then this one was already pre-existing, instead of hashing it over, we decided that it would be better just for us to fix what, because they said they were only reliable for like 75% of it, and 75% of it was like $25,000. I said, well, just let us use $25,000 worth of material. I'll fix every base failure in there, so I don't have any problem doing that.
There's a few holes, different places, but they're not bad. We can fix those. Ones that's bad is two spots.
Yeah, and the ones that are really bad, they agreed that they did those, but there were some of the others that they wouldn't agree on that they had caused, and instead of...
Yeah, some of the existing ones got worse over time. They were all
Right.
with that.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if they have accounts set up with Drake or not. I don't know if Drake's going to want to be prepaid. I mean, stuff like this, people will drag their feet on if we don't push them, so it'd be good if we could, play
Whenever
the
I talked to him
steps.
this morning, he said just send him the contact information and stuff, and I'll get Drake to contact them, and
Yeah.
that way they can get together, and hopefully...
Yeah, that'd be good. If we can get Drake, the salesman, to contact the buyer, to get that initiated, that would be good. All right?
And that's about all I got. Y'all got any questions?
All right, well, before you sit down, let's move on then into item number 4, just in case we need to talk to you or to... Why don't you give a microphone to Philip and or to John, just in case. A pretty general item here, discuss road unit system transitional considerations with possible action. If there's anything that's going to need action today, I'm going to put this in here for the next few meetings that we have, just in case there's something specific that I don't know about or that I have forgotten. This will give us to discuss something and either take action on it then or plan for that action. Commissioner Fields, I know you were talked to Carolyn the other day about getting something on the agenda. Was it the purchase of a piece of equipment, I believe?
Yes. That was the backhoe. Precinct 2 is not back. Okay. And then they don't need.
So how do you want to handle this?
Well, John, do you want a new one or do you want to? Okay. We'll take that money. Go to pay that down and pay the rest of it out.
We want to buy this, lease this? Buy. Well, do we know what we're going to get? Did you say 56? 86,000.
Yeah, he's talking about transfer of money to the from the sale of precinct 2 equipment.
One of them was 3s and one of them was 2.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to get off the budget.
He can pay for it over a period of time, so much money.
Well, it doesn't sound like we're ready to approve a purchase today. Why don't, John, maybe you get with Mike and make a plan, and perhaps at the next meeting, we can approve a purchase or whatever you all decide to do.
We have a bid on conroys. I don't know how we have to post that in the paper to take bids on that backhoe.
You don't have to post it if you're buying it off the state bid price.
I'll have to buy more.
We'll get figured out what we need to do.
Is that,
No, they're not. No,
Well, if they ask to buy more price,
I don't know. I'll look and see. Yep.
Okay. So we got some decisions to make before we're ready to approve that. Anything else, guys, that we had started talking about at the last meeting that we need to consider today? We got a lot done at our workshop, but is there anything that came out of that workshop that you would like to continue discussion on today and or take action on that?
I've got Justin here today, kind of representing precinct 1.
I'd like to discuss the spray truck.
Spray truck.
What's the plan for the
Hey,
spray truck?
You got a mic for Justin
Yeah.
there?
What's your plan for the spray truck?
I really don't want the spray bed. I talked with Philip the other day about it. If we have got, or if I just need a truck that I can pull my ditch machine with, something that, a flatbed or something that go with it, and that way the bed could stay on that truck. Otherwise, we'll pull that one off, and I can put the flatbed that was on there back on it and use it. I mean, that's just something that we need to work out, with that. Y'all interested in the
We are, yes. Now, I don't know if the other precincts or commissioners are, but as far, Precinct 1 is. And,
are you interested?
as of right now, we don't even have a pull truck. It's in the process if they can get it fixed. So, but
Can you tell me what we're talking about here?
I've got a ditch machine. It's kind of like the Great All, but it's not. But it's what we clean ditches or have cleaned ditches with in the past and all. And I need some way of pulling it. I've got my truck that my backhoe's on, but most of the time we're using the backhoe and it at the same time. So we need.
It's not a self-propelled deal. It's towed behind a piece of equipment.
Yes, sir. It's on the trailer. And the truck that I had, it was one of the old fire trucks that Mount Pleasant turned back in. And then I got the one from Nortex. The one from Mount Pleasant had it was having some issues with getting hot. And so we took it. That's the one they put the dump bed on. And now then I don't have anything to pull that trailer with. We've got the trailer that it stays on, and then we've got our backhoe now. So I'm gonna need something, either that truck that the spray rig. They took the bed that I had on, excuse me, on that truck from Mount Pleasant off of it to put this dump bed on it, or the patching bed, and then they have got the spray rig on the truck that I'd got from Nortex, and I was going to swap those two to use that is what my plan was. So, if somebody.
No, that's herbicide.
It's the herbicide rig and all that they rigged up. to spray the right-of-ways and all with. So I need something. I mean, if there's another truck there that we could get that I could use to use for a pull truck, well, that would be fine with me.
Talking about a pickup truck, a
No,
450, an
it's a
18-wheeler? What are we talking about?
It's a 350, Ford 350 is the one that I had, and it takes
So
at least that to pull that
One-ton
thing.
pickup truck will do the job.
Sir,
A one-ton pickup will do the job.
1 ton would do it probably no further than we have to pull the thing. That one was a 350, so.
Well, do we, between the 4 precincts, do we own such a vehicle?
Well, that's what I was talking.
We don't have one that we could,
Can
put
let
it on.
go?
No,
You ain't got one pull truck.
we don't have but one pull truck. And like I say, it's in the shop.
Yeah.
We only have one pull truck. Do y'all have just one, Dan?
I think we have maybe,
So you're the only one that has 2, is that right?
I guess maybe it was.
It'd be a hassle. It'd be a pain. Yeah. My thinking is it's already hooked up to that truck. It's already, it's ready to spray. If we take it off, we're going to have to find a new truck and rig it up or buy a truck. I just didn't know if he was willing
What's the
to.
question? What's the solution here? I don't know anything about this. What do we need to do? What do we need to talk about doing? What do we need to plan for? What do I need to put on
I
the agenda?
discussed with Jimmy about, Dana's got one, I think he just bought another fire truck for, was it Talco?
we won't get that thing back.
We won't get it back.
No, we won't. There's nothing there. They've been purchased all their vehicles. I don't think they have extra ones.
Grab that mic back, would you?
There's quite a bit of money still in the road and bridge fund, so if there are some pieces of equipment we're going to have to buy, if y'all want to decide which precinct's going to buy it, we're going to divide the money up, I'm assuming, pretty much equally. And there's $1.5 million in there. And you're going to have some money to buy some equipment with. You just have to make long-term budget plans. You got to look at all your equipment and figure out what you're going to have to replace when, or we need to put some of this money aside in just an equipment account. And then y'all are going to have to decide as a group who gets to buy equipment when, if you don't want to just split it all up into 4.
Is this a shared vehicle? Is this going to be assigned to a precinct? Who's going to use this?
Well, it normally stays connected to that trailer is what it normally does. I mean, if somebody else needed it, that'd be fine. Need truck and trailer. We could, if we're not using our machine, we could unload the machine and they'd be more than welcome to use the truck and trailer. But it normally stays there ready to go. We keep that machine loaded on the
Stays
trailer and
where?
ready to go at my yard out there.
Okay. So this is a precinct 4 piece of equipment, or would this be county-wide owned?
Well, I mean, it was like we were talking the other day. It's this ditching machine. If somebody else needs it, then I'll send one of my guys with the machine because it's a little quirky and you gotta know how it acts and what it does. It's an older piece of equipment, and I'd rather my operator go with it. And they can send me a guy for the day or for 2 or 3 days or whatever it is. And so it's something that will be shared, sure, but if need be. But I was just going to have it out there,
All this truck's going to do is tow a trailer that carries the necessary piece of equipment. It doesn't pull the ditching machine.
No. It pulls it on the trailer.
It just hauls it.
It hauls it is what it
It's a
does.
self-propelled ditcher and a self-propelled sprayer.
It's rubber-tired ditch machine is what it is. It's
The
got
machine's just real slow to take down the highway.
What about the sprayer?
Do what, Roger?
The machine's just real slow to take now, drive to
Yeah,
the
it
location.
wouldn't
Yeah,
be
you can't
efficient.
drive
to
it
do
to the
that.
location because it's so slow.
So that's why you
About
load
the
it up.
sprayer that we started the conversation with, does it require a truck to pull it?
No, it's a regular one-ton truck rigged out to spray.
But it's got a bed on it, Brian, that it's got a tank and everything on it. And that's the way they rigged it up, was for that tank and to spray with and all. I mean, the way Justin talking, if anybody else wants to use it, I mean, it will be available too for anybody else that wants to use it.
Yeah, I would say probably that spray rig and the seal coating equipment probably needs to be kept in Fund 19, for lack of a better place to keep it, which is equipment that belongs to everybody. But all these other pieces of equipment are going to need to be allocated to the different and bought by the different departments out of their share of the monies. Because they're basically going to be theirs. Yeah, they'll share with each other, but it's still going to be a Precinct 4 truck.
But I think that's the problem there. Some of them paid for this equipment before out of the budgets, and they want to keep it.
Well, that's what it's going to have to go back to. They're going to have to pay for it out of their budgets. The only equipment that I think shouldn't be paid for out of their budgets is like seal coating equipment that's going to be shared, and apparently this spray rig could be used by everybody.
Well, just like Precinct 4 actually owns the pneumatic roller.
Well,
If what?
The pneumatic roller.
Oh.
Rubber tire roller.
Well,
See, they actually
and
own it. That's what-
it was bought before we combined them all.
Yes.
yeah.
We may have to reimburse him some money to put over there in his precinct to put it in 19. It sounds like that needs to be in 19.
Yeah, if you're gonna make a shared equipment pool,
Right.
I think you're gonna have to move money out of all the budgets around to pay for it.
Okay. Well, a lot of that equipment
They've
is
got to agree to pay for it.
right, but a lot of that equipment that I'm talking about, we bought last year or in the year before, and it wasn't the precinct's money. It came out of money we set aside for everybody. So, yeah, if there's a piece that we bought before, then we're going to have to reimburse that precinct for that if we want that to be a shared piece of equipment. But there's not going to be very many shared pieces of equipment. There's going to be equipment that y'all are going to be willing to loan to each other, but it's not going to be county-owned equipment, county-wide equipment.
I would think that would be the first thing you need to decide on, what goes into a shared equipment.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what doesn't, and then you need to look at your deals, and you need to come up with a list of what you need. And if there's a piece like that roller you're talking about that needs to be shared, well, then we got to put the money back in Precinct 4 and move that roller
How
over.
much did y'all use that roller?
Every time we seal, we roll.
Did you? Okay.
So that obviously needs to be in the seal
Well,
coat equipment.
Every time we rehab the road, we use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was used, it's a little light.
Yeah.
We need to see if we need a bigger one, but
It's a little light, but it did serve the purpose,
Yeah.
for me anyway.
When we're using BOMAG, see before, Precinct 4 was not in on the BOMAG.
Yeah.
So that could be a shared piece of equipment too.
Yeah.
Y'all just need to decide which pieces you want to be in
In
the
that.
shared equipment, and then look at your individual inventories and figure out what you need in your inventories, and we'll see if we can budget the money out of these monies we have. Just like that. And then, you may have to borrow some funds. You could borrow it from the general county. We've done that here lately, rather than borrowing it at the bank. Saves us interest. But
Well, if it will be beneficial, I can schedule some meetings where the four of you can get together and talk about stuff like this. It sounds like there may be some need for some planning time where you can bounce these ideas around, and then we come into Commissioner's Court, we can make the decisions based on what conclusions you all have reached. So if that would be something you could utilize, let me know when. I'll just post an agenda item and y'all can meet. You can bring Roger or Philip or whoever you want to meet with and make these kind of decisions. It sounds like you might all want to bring a list of your equipment, compare notes and decide what the strategy is going to be for additional equipment purchases, leases, if any, and decide what's going to be county-owned, county-wide owned, or owned by individual precincts. So, let me know if I can do that for you. I would suggest you maybe meet once a week. You might get a lot done. Just gather around that table down there and decide what you want to do. So it doesn't sound like we're ready to make a decision on this, are we?
Well, you can be making the decision yourself.
Okay, what can we make a decision on today?
One thing that I know is they got to have a little bit of back.
You can make a motion to go out to bid or get the buy-board price. Usually these local entities like Conroe match the buy-board.
If they match the buy board price, we still have to bid it because they're not on the buy board, correct? And it's over 50,000.
Plus
And then it's got to run 14 days.
I need to check on that. I think if you're buying it off with the state bid price, I don't know what you have to, but that's fine, we can check.
Okay.
I'll check.
So I was out that truck.
If it's
that
over
fire truck.
50,000, I'm pretty sure that we have to bid it just like normal, unless we go buy it off the buy board. And I'm.
But if you've got a local
If I can
vendor
find
to
one
beat
off
the buy board price, you wouldn't have to rebid it. We've done that before, I think.
I don't know, I'll check and see. I can check and see everything to make sure.
No, we went, the fire truck, it was a couple $1,000s cheaper through our local than it was, and then plus they was going to charge a $400 setup fee.
Whether you need to make a motion to go out to bid, so just do that.
Then we have to wait.
The state bid price will be one of the things you'll consider just to get your quotes. So you can make a motion to go out.
Because I didn't want to go to Brownsville and get the truck, then come here to Elliott and have it serviced. It was, it would have been like a slap in the face. To me, it would have been.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So I think in your agenda item, forward, you can make a motion to go out to bids.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Commissioner Fields makes a motion to go out for bids on a backhoe for Precinct 2. Any specific kind of backhoe?
We'll just look and see what we can.
Have you talked to him and see what type? Nah, that's
Why don't we just authorize them to research and get bids on the selected piece of equipment to
Okay.
bring back to the court for purchase approval?
Okay, I can do that.
950, would that be better? That's better, and that's the one small is the 750s, right?
I'm sorry?
The smaller ones are the 750s, the backhoes?
The B75 is the smaller one, the B9 or the 95 is a little bit bigger.
The 95.
Yeah.
I think you'd be better
I think that's what we want to do, is get the bigger one, yeah.
Because would last longer.
Okay, so again, the motion is to research and obtain bid for the purchase and/or lease of a backhoe.
Second.
Okay, second by Commissioner Applewhite. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there anything else like this that we ought to get done today? And is there a day you want me to schedule you guys I'll call it a workshop for lack of a better term. The soonest we could do it would be Thursday to give us the 72 hours.
Do you need to get a truck? It sounds like we're going to have to have a truck somewhere. If we would have to spray in on that truck, everything, we're going to need another truck to spray.
Correct. I would think it'd be the better option would be to just buy one for him for that. But we'd also need to divide up like the pneumatic roller and the bow mag and make sure all that.
Figure out how we're
Correct. Correct.
If we're going to need a truck, we're going to go ahead and go out and get some truck. And then we'll figure out when we need to swap equipment, how we'll take it. That's how we're
Unless we need to discuss what kind of truck you're going to get. I mean, or is that already known?
Just a 1 ton, and it doesn't have to be a new. If we could find just a cab and chassis, I've got a bed sitting out there that would go on it. So, I mean, there's no sense in buying the bed and everything.
How about the same thing, research and obtain bids on a truck for precinct?
At least a 1 ton.
On a 1-ton truck?
Maybe.
Is there any time that you three want to meet? I don't know when Commissioner Riddle will be back. Do you want to begin with a discussion meeting anytime this week? You want to schedule it for next week? All right. Y'all just let me know when you want to schedule it then. You know, check with them and see when they can. And I would imagine Commissioner Riddle will be out for, a week or so.
Is it possible if I sit in for him on that?
Sure. That'd be good. Okay. Y'all discuss that during the next discussion meeting. So remember that Justin will probably want to be at this meeting. John will want to be at this meeting. So again, later on this week, Thursday at the latest, or Friday, or otherwise we're talking about next week. And you'll, okay.
Thursday, Friday.
Well, it can be late Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon. Tentatively, what are your schedules Thursday, Friday? Any limitations?
No, sir.
John, Justin, any limitations Thursday and Friday? Okay.
I don't know when the therapist will work.
Yeah, we'll check on that, let me know, and then I can schedule a Thursday or Friday meeting. Okay, so the motion is, and I don't know if anybody's made the motion to research and obtain bids for the purchase of a 1-ton truck for Precinct 4.
Make that motion.
Motion's made by Commissioner Applewhite and seconded by Commissioner Parker. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add to this motion? All right, all in favor say aye. Any similar things like this before we have our roundtable discussion workshop, or anything else that falls under item number 4?
Got a maintainer, but it won't, have a guy coming in, he's on vacation, he's going to look at the maintainer, see what it costs us, and we can refurbish it. And it'll be like a new one. He said it'll take about 2 weeks to refurbish it. And so we're waiting on him to get off vacation to come look at it and bid on it, see what it's going to cost me to do it.
Maybe you'll have some info to share with them at the next meeting.
Remember that if it costs more than $50,000 to refurbish it, we'll have to bid it.
I would change the bid if it don't bid that. That's all I said. The Caterpillars, I got the cat guy coming in. Well, Jeff had him because he talked to him last week. But if we have to, we'll get another bid. Get some more bids on it. Because it's a Caterpillar machine, that's why.
Right. Refurbishing. I'll put an agenda item for next meeting to consider and possibly approve refurbishing. What are we going to call it? Is it your precinct equipment? Precinct 3 Caterpillar maintainers.
Y'all might want to start checking on leasing equipment instead of you come out.
Yeah. Listen here was, like Jeff said, the motor was in excellent condition. He said just, just instead of buying a new one, it would be cheaper to refurbish this one because it don't have all the computer on it and everything. Anybody can start. Most of them don't have all of their problems now. So there's no concern with it.
Right.
And so,
Yeah, eventually you'll have to go to it.
oh yeah, right.
What was the gauge?
The gang.
What were you using that maintainer for? The gauge,
What about it?
where were you using that?
We used it on the road a few times. It's the only thing we've used it for.
That's the one they sold.
No.
No.
Yeah, we still have it.
I
Yeah.
had that.
Precinct
my
two.
precinct sold.
Maintainer is a gap.
Yeah, they sold it.
Well, what about taking the money that we got out of that fund to help pay for the refurb on that too? Can we do that? If we go that route?
What you have to decide is, if we're going to divide up the money, the pieces of equipment that are going to be countywide,
Yeah.
for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
Keep money.
pay for it before you split the money.
Okay.
So if you're going to pay for his maintenance before you split the money, it's really costing all of y'all to pay for that equipment. That ain't what you want to do, it's fine. But you need to understand the math we're talking about here. We're going to fix it, we're going to handle all the county-wide equipment before we split the money up.
Well, and this is just my thoughts on the deal. All this equipment belongs to the county. I mean, it is not actually a precinct piece of equipment, as far as I'm concerned. It's county-wide equipment. And everybody's got got stuff that they keep at their barn and whatnot and use, and they have taken care in the past of fixing. But if somebody else needs it, I think that's one of the reasons that we have gotten in the position that we've gotten in, is people would say, "Oh, that's mine. I'm not letting anybody have it." Well, that's not the way I look at it. It's
The only thing Jim is making them play that, I don't know anything about the road stuff, but when it gets to be summertime, and that's the only time you can really do any heavy road repairs, all four of you are going to be wanting to repair roads. That's how the situation got to where everybody had their own equipment. There's 9 months out of the year that you don't use some of that equipment.
yeah.
But
They're going to have to lease them, because like a BOMAG to do this. We're going to have to lease one to
now,
everybody.
the part that was the seal coat part, that makes kind of sense for it to be by itself, because
Right.
it's going to be used everywhere, and it's not used all summer by anyone precinct.
Yeah.
Y'all going to come up with a list of priority roads, and one year they may all be in one precinct, but that's because all 5 of you agreed that year to do it all in one precinct. But you're going to seal coat, correct those roads, and that is a county deal, but your normal patching and ditching and mowing and all that, all 4 of y'all are going to be doing it at the same time, and you're going to need.
Yeah.
So even though you're willing to share the equipment, I don't know how practical it's going to be for the equipment to share.
Yeah.
When we meet, we get together. I'd like for John to be there.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
The biggest problem we had at Texas Dot with shared equipment was when anything we shared, if it showed up to our office and it needed repaired before we could use it, then we had to repair it. And if you had to repair it and it come from another district, you argued about who was going to pay to repair it. Y'all run into some of the same stuff, unless y'all have a centralized repair bill available with some of your shared equipment.
You can do that. You go out of the precinct, go in there, and again, you run the same problem. If all we have a bunch of repair bills that solve precinct 1 for equipment that year, we haven't even out in that 1 year, right? Maybe all the repairs in precinct 1. It's still money that came out of all 4 precincts that you didn't have available to do roads in the precinct. So, you can do it either way. maintain equipment person. We talked years past about putting all the equipment posted in. That means you pull it out of the precincts and it sits in the equipment fund by itself. And maybe we buy 4 pieces of equipment and there's one for each precinct that year. Maybe we buy 4 pieces of equipment and all in precinct 1. Again, that's a decision. It's not made out of most court,
Yeah.
but it does limit the monies that are in there. You can do it either way. The way we used to do it was we gave all the money to the different precincts and said, you have to buy your equipment. So you're going to have to budget on about a 5 or 6 year period, how much you're going to have to save up to buy a piece of equipment because you know the 3 years you're going to have to maintain or whatever you have to have.
You're going to have to be real careful about, everything you spend on equipment is going to eat up your material budget.
Exactly.
So you
Yeah.
can end up spending all your money on equipment, you can't do anything because you can't buy materials.
Yep.
So we can't make money. We do have surplus monies this year. It's an unusual item, but we also are talking fast about trying to get to where we get to buy more road materials and do more miles of road
Yeah.
each year. I'm not sure how much it will cost to do the seal coating process. Road prep before you can do the seal coating, right?
We were averaging about 35,000 a mile, what we were averaging this past year.
Some of them a little more, some of them a little less,
So there's 400 miles in county.
Yeah, 123.
So you figure out, how much you want to spend on the prepping and the seal coat, but that is a long-term fix for those roads.
Yes. Yeah.
And here's another thing. We need to divide it up according to miles. Put a base sum, 50,000 each precinct.
You can do it either way. I mean, you can.
Then, well, I noticed on ours, he had 83 miles. I had 105. They both had about 112.
I've got 118.8, I think, what it was.
You can also make the argument, that the roads in this deal is a lot harder to maintain than the ones that they said.
Philip, would you give him that microphone?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can argue.
A lot of ways you can
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's, again, that's your decision. You control the budget, so. I'm just telling you the options and the areas the repercussions of some of your decisions and stuff. You have to decide, you have to think it out.
Need a lot of help. The roads in precinct 3.
Joe.
You have some roads, I have about 50% of bridges.
Okay, anything else for item 4 today? Okay, Roger, thank you very much.
Thanks, Commissioners.
So we got 2 motions that came out of that, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, item number 5, an update on the North Courthouse entry repairs. I met with Glenn Calvert last week, and we spent a good bit of time out there on the front steps, and he explained what their findings were. I'll tell you what the next step is, but the good news is we don't have as major of a tear out as we thought. The sides of the stairs, that go vertically, do not need to come out. What we do need to, and there is a support beam underneath the stairs that will stay. So what he is proposing is that the flat upper part of the landing at the top of the stairs, as well as all of the stairs, be removed and re-poured. That is not as extensive of a job as completely removing everything all the way back to the flat courthouse wall. So they're going to be working on putting together some plans that could then be used for bid purposes. It's a little more elaborate than what I'm describing, but that's essentially what it would be to demo out, essentially cut out that top deck. There's a lot of rebar in there, so you can't just jackhammer it out, but you would end up cutting it out in pieces as well as removing the stairs. There's a lot of damage below that surface, but the structure underneath it, the support beams and the side supports are good. So he will be, over the next couple of weeks, working on a set of drawings to instruct. We're going to have a couple of people involved in this. One would be a concrete company that would oversee the removal of the concrete and then the repouring of the steps and the landing. The second part, that, believe it or not, just as expensive as what I've described to you thus far, would be to apply a coating on the top of the steps and the upper landing. This stuff, he showed me a sample of it, is like a plastic sheeting that's non-permeable, and it has a tacky, not tacky, but a gritty surface on the top. So water can't get through this layer, and it provides some friction to help to help when you're stepping. There would be more of a tilt put on that upper landing to drain the water off. He suggested, although we don't need to rebuild these other 3 steps, that it might be a good idea, while you have the specialty company there installing that that non-permeable layer, that we consider doing that to the other 4 steps. So we're not approving anything today. He's got to work on the plans and get us some some estimates as to what he thinks this would cost, but that's what will be coming. So the good news is not quite as big of a demolition as we thought, but we do have damage to the steps and the landing that are not going to be fixed just by resurfacing the top. It does need to be completely repoured. So that is my update on the North Courthouse entry repairs. Item number 6 is to canvass the returns from the November 6th general election and certify the results of the election. So Chrissy is here to help us get that done.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. So this is just the results that we got in this last election. We have taken, what we did is we took the totals that came off of our scanners and we put them into the computer, and what we did is the judges all have a sheet that they fill out that they say how many ballots went through. We double check that to make sure that's what we're showing on the printouts. So everybody's total matched, and then we had to meet with the ballot board, and they had to approve the 48 provisional ballots. And once that was done, we put those in, and that's how we come up with our totals.
Total votes cast was roughly what, 78, nearly 8,000?
Total ballots cast was 8,039.
How does that compare to the 2016 and 14, 14 elections?
2016, I wouldn't compare it to that one. But 2014, we had a great turnout compared to 2014.
Any idea what the total votes were? I was thinking it was like
I'm not sure. I can look
5,000.
it up, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. 2016, there was a total of a little over 9,000 votes. So we almost reached that in just a governor's election.
Wow. Okay. All right, what do we need to look at next?
That's pretty much it. The numbers, I've given y'all 2 things. One is just a summary of the returns that we have just written on the sheet, but this is where we got it from, how we got our numbers.
Well, need a motion to accept the total.
Is that all you need us to do?
Pretty much.
I have a motion by Commissioner Fields to accept the final vote totals as presented by the elections administrator.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Applewhite. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so we have canvassed and certified by
Perfect.
doing that. Is that
And you
right?
Yes.
Okay.
You have an extra sheet just because you're the authority, but I can come get it later. Don't worry about it.
I'll fill it out right now, save
Okay.
you a trip. Canvass of the general election. If I just, does anybody need to stamp this or anything? Does the clerk need to certify this?
I don't think so. Honestly, that's just our proof that we came before Commissioners Court.
Approved it. Well, we had a good turnout,
We did, very good turnout.
a real good turnout.
So we did this today, the 26th. 2018.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Do I need
Chrissy.
to make a copy and bring it back? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to item number 7, time to look at our oral and written reports and approve those.
Thank you, sir.
Make a motion, we approve the oral and written report.
Motion's made by Commissioner Parker for approval, second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 8, our treasurer's report.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion for approval is made by Commissioner Applewhite, second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 9, approve any budget amendments.
Yes, sir, we have several today, 3342, this is our year-end adjustments. These are all for the year we just ended. We wait till all the bills come in, and then we do our final cleanup. The first one's number 30. That's for the road and bridge account. It's just line item changes. Number 31 is for general county, and again, it's just line item changes. 32 is the law library fund, same thing, line item changes. 33 is the pretrial Class C fund, again, line item changes. 34 is for the county attorney's hot check fund, line item changes. 35 is the Family Protective Services grant, line item changes, which means we're just moving money around between the different, there's no new money. 36, Sheriff's Commissary. It's line item changes, but it's some transfers from the canteen account where the canteen account actually made a little more money than we thought. 37 is line item changes on the interest for the 2017 INS. 38 is line item changes in the 2016 INS, basically for interest income and bond fees. 39 is the canteen account we talked about a while ago. We actually brought in more money, but we budgeted transferring some of our fund balances over. We were able to transfer an extra $11,879 to the sheriff's commissary, but part of that's going to be, we brought in about $3,000 or $4,000 more. We also transferred some of our fund balance that was in there. The insurance fund, where I had to adjust that budget by $146,000. That was for a reduction in anticipated revenues. Yes. Well, we did budgeted, basically, one of them is the stop loss reimbursement. I budgeted $600,000. We only collected $500,000, so that was a $100,000 adjustment. And then the stop loss premiums, I budgeted $360,000, and they actually ran $406,000, so it's $146,000 difference. It is new money. It's a reduction of the estimated net. Right. And then 41 is just where we kind of cleaned up the loop bonds. You know, we've got it set up in 4 different funds for the 12A, 12B, 2016, 2017, and 2009. And it was just moving some money around it. It actually reduced the budget by $87,000, but just on the federal revenues.
And what is that, because we collected more interest than we thought, or you're just changing the principal?
I'm just changing the principal and interest stuff, but I also didn't collect as much federal revenue as I originally budgeted. I thought we were going to collect a little extra money. We collected the $8,420,000 just to TxDOT. That's right, TxDOT money. Actually collected $87,000 less than I originally budgeted, but we collected the minimum amount that we were supposed to collect, which was $8,420,000. Yes. So, and then number 42 is clean up on the FEMA Precinct 2. Which includes a transfer back to the Road and Bridge Fund. That's it. Okay.
You've signed them all. Let's get a motion to approve the budget amendments.
Make a motion.
Motion is made by Commissioner Applewhite for approval, second by Commissioner Parker. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 10 is signed pay orders, approved bill payments.
Make a motion to prepare bill.
Motion is made by Commissioner Parker for approval,
Second.
and second by Commissioner Applewhite. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, any closing comments? I'll remind you that your annual AgriLife Extension training will be on December 6th. So that will be next week, 8:30 to 4 at the AgLife Extension office on Industrial Road. We've got that posted as item number 12, just to allow us to all be there together. No county business will be discussed amongst the court, but of course, county business will be discussed during that training seminar. So we're again grateful to have that come to Titus County for us to host. And John Fitch, are you aware of that deal? Okay. Let's see. Once again, I'll keep you posted on Commissioner Riddle's progress and his status. I'll wait for Mike to let me know when a good time to meet for just kind of a roundtable discussion as you plan your transition, and hopefully toward the end of this week or early part of next week.
Brian, do we need to vote on changing back to the road system? Since the hands are going to be there next Monday, back into...
Since the what?
The hands are going to come back to the precincts next Monday. Do we need to vote on can we do that under number 4 there to change it back from the optional road system back to the precinct system?
Okay, so is this something different than what the voters did? We just need to approve that, or what?
I would think we probably need to approve it, don't we? I don't know. I mean, I don't remember what we did when it changed the other way.
Vote the first time?
I don't remember.
You would need to change it back close to the type system that we had.
Ex officio, Commissioner Road System. What you need to vote to go back to. Okay. Well, why don't we reopen item number 4, and Commissioner Parker makes a motion to, what is the word, to remove or to discontinue the optional road unit system and return to the, how did you help? Ex officio road system. All right, thank you. So that adds back onto item number 4.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, second. Didn't have a second. Second by Commissioner Applewhite. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those were my only closing comments. I'll start with Commissioner Fields. You have anything to add here?
Only thing I would say is that had a good voter turnout. Very proud of the people going and voting. I think they did a good job. I was really proud of it. Regardless who it was, everybody turned out the way we wanted.
And I'm very glad it's over. Commissioner Applewhite.
Except glad it's over with, and everybody had a happy Thanksgiving, and look for a happy Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Commissioner Parker.
I don't think I've got anything.
All right. If there is nothing else, anyone in the audience? Okay. With a motion to adjourn, we will adjourn this morning. The motion is made by Commissioner Fields to adjourn and second by Commissioner Applewhite. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.